Maya arrives at the Grandview estate at 7 a.m. sharp, the morning sun casting long shadows across the manicured gardens. The venue is stunning, a historic mansion with floor-to-ceiling windows and sprawling grounds dotted with ancient oak trees. She parks her beat-up Honda Civic next to a row of expensive catering trucks and vendor vehicles. I'd love to know which corner of the globe you're watching from. And if this story speaks to you, make sure to subscribe. Tomorrow's video is one you absolutely can't miss. Her phone buzzes with a text from Stephanie, "Getting my hair done. Can't wait to see you later. You're the best MOH ever." Maya smiles despite her exhaustion. She'd barely slept, running through mental checklists of everything that needed to go perfectly today. Walking toward the main entrance, she notices how quiet everything seems. The calm before the storm. Carol Jenkins emerges from the venue, clipboard in hand and wearing a severe black pantsuit that makes her look more like a funeral director than a wedding planner. Her gray hair is pulled back so tightly it seems to stretch her features. "Maya, you're late. I expected you 15 minutes ago." Maya checks her phone. It's exactly 7 a.m. "I'm actually right on time." Carol's expression doesn't change. In the wedding industry, on time is late. Early is on time. "I trust this won't be a pattern." Of course not. "I'm ready to help however you need." "Good." The catering manager is already here, and the florists are running behind schedule. "I need you to direct the catering setup while I handle the floral emergency." Carol hands Maya a detailed floor plan covered in red pen markings and arrows. She also pulls out the black apron from her bag. "You'll need to put this on immediately. The health department inspector could arrive at any time, and anyone near food service must be properly attired." Maya stares at the apron. The wedding staff embroidery seems more prominent in daylight, and the cheap polyester fabric feels rough between her fingers. Mrs. Chen mentioned this was just for setup. "When should I change into my bridesmaid dress?" Carol checks her watch. "The catering setup should take approximately 4 hours. You'll have time to change before the bridal party photos at 4 p.m. 4 hours? But that means I'll miss getting ready with Stephanie and the other bridesmaids." "The other bridesmaids aren't coordinating vendor services. Your priorities today are different." Maya feels a knot forming in her stomach, but she ties on the apron without further protest. The fabric hangs loosely over her jeans and t-shirt, making her look exactly like the hired help. Inside the venue, Maya meets the catering manager, Antonio Rivera, a friendly man in his 40s who immediately treats her like she's part of his staff. "You must be the bride's coordinator. Carol said you'd be working with us today." "I'm actually the maid of honor, but I'm also helping coordinate." Antonio nods absently, already focused on his own tasks. "Great. We need someone to direct food placement for the cocktail hour. The bride's mother was very specific about the layout." He hands Maya another diagram, this one showing an intricate arrangement of appetizer stations, drink setups, and serving areas. Maya studies the complex flow patterns and realizes this is far more involved than she expected. Over the next 2 hours, Maya finds herself completely immersed in catering logistics. She directs servers on tablecloth placement, ensures the ice sculptures are positioned correctly, and coordinates with the bartending team about signature cocktail recipes. Her phone buzzes periodically with excited texts from the other bridesmaids getting ready together, but she barely has time to read them. A delivery truck arrives with the wrong chair covers, ivory instead of champagne. Maya spends 30 minutes on the phone with the rental company while simultaneously directing servers in proper wine glass placement. Her initial plan to be just a helpful coordinator has morphed into being the primary point person for every vendor question. Around 9:30, Linda Chen arrives wearing a designer suit and an expression of satisfied control. She surveys the bustling setup with the critical eye of someone accustomed to perfection. "Maya, wonderful work so far. How are things progressing?" "Everything's on schedule, Mrs. Chen. The caterers are almost finished with the main room setup." "Excellent. I have a few additional requests. The photographer mentioned needing someone to coordinate group photos during cocktail hour. Since you're already managing guest relations, that seems like a natural fit." "Mrs. Chen, I'm supposed to be in those photos as maid of honor." Linda's smile doesn't waver. "Of course, dear. But between photos, someone needs to ensure guests aren't wandering into restricted areas or creating bottlenecks at the bar." Maya realizes she's being systematically assigned every task that would prevent her from actually participating in the wedding as a guest. But questioning Linda Chen feels impossible. The woman has a way of making her requests sound both reasonable and non-negotiable. "I understand." "Wonderful. Oh, and Maya, the florists are having trouble with the centerpiece heights. Could you assist them? You have such an eye for detail." Before Maya can respond, Linda glides away to inspect something else, leaving Maya with yet another task. She checks her phone and sees multiple missed calls from Stephanie, followed by a worried text. "Where are you? We're all getting ready and doing mimosas." Maya quickly calls back. Stephanie answers on the first ring, sounding slightly breathless and very excited. Maya. Thank God. I was starting to worry. Where are you? I'm at the venue helping with setup. There have been a lot of unexpected issues, but you're missing everything. Emma and Sarah are here, and my cousin flew in from Portland. We're all getting our makeup done together. Maya feels a pang of exclusion. She'd been looking forward to that bonding time for weeks. I really want to be there, but your mom asked me to handle some vendor problems. Can't someone else do it? You're my maid of honor, not my employee. Maya hesitates, unsure how to explain that she feels trapped without making Stephanie feel guilty. It's okay. I'll be there as soon as I can. Save some mimosas for me, promise. But Maya, seriously, don't let my mom turn you into the hired help. You're my best friend. After hanging up, Maya stares at her reflection in a nearby mirror. The black apron over her casual clothes, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, the clipboard in her hand, she does look exactly like hired help. The realization stings more than she expected. A server approaches with a question about appetizer timing, pulling Maya back into coordinator mode. She spends the next hour troubleshooting various issues, a broken chafing dish, confusion about vegetarian options, and a dispute between the florists and photographers over workspace. Around 11 a.m., David arrives for his own prep time. He looks handsome but nervous in dark jeans and a button-down shirt, his hair slightly mussed from what was probably a restless night. When he spots Maya directing servers, his face shows genuine confusion. Maya? What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be with Stephanie getting ready? Maya feels embarrassed about her appearance but tries to sound upbeat. Just helping coordinate a few vendor things. Your future mother-in-law wanted to make sure everything runs smoothly. David's expression shifts to concern. But you're the maid of honor. This seems like a lot more than coordination. It's fine, really. I want Stephanie's day to be perfect. Maya. You look like you've been working since dawn. Have you even eaten anything? The question catches Maya off guard. She realizes she hasn't had so much as a cup of coffee, having been too busy directing food service for everyone else. I'll grab something later. Right now I need to check on the centerpiece situation. David gently takes the clipboard from her hands. Maya, I need you to listen to me. Stephanie would be horrified if she knew you were being treated like staff instead of her best friend. Your mom just wants everything perfect. My mom? Maya, Linda isn't my mother. My parents died in a car accident when I was 16. Linda is Stephanie's mother. Maya stares at David, confused. But you call her mom, and she talks about the wedding like it's her event too. David runs his hand through his hair. That's complicated. Linda has very strong opinions about how things should be done, and it's easier for everyone if we don't fight her. But that doesn't mean she gets to turn you into unpaid labor. Just then, Carol Jenkins approaches with another urgent expression. Maya, we have a problem. The wine delivery is short 2 cases of the champagne for the toast. I need you to coordinate with the beverage vendor while I handle the musician's sound check. David intercepts. Actually, Carol, I think Maya needs a break. She's been working for 4 hours straight. Carol's professional smile becomes slightly strained. Mr. Harrison, I understand your concern, but we have a very tight timeline. Maya volunteered to assist with coordination. She volunteered to help, not to work a full-time job. The tension between David and Carol is palpable. Maya feels caught in the middle, unsure whether to assert herself or keep peace. It's okay, David. I can handle the wine issue. No, it's not okay. Maya, you're one of the most important people in our lives. You shouldn't be running around in an apron handling vendor problems. Carol's clipboard taps impatiently against her leg. Mr. Harrison, perhaps this conversation would be better saved for after the wedding. We have many moving parts to coordinate. David's jaw tightens, but he nods curtly. You're right. But Maya, promise me you'll take a break and get some food. After David leaves, Carol's demeanor becomes noticeably cooler toward Maya. In the future, it would be helpful if personal conversations didn't interfere with vendor coordination. We have a timeline to maintain. Maya feels chastised despite David trying to defend her. She nods and takes the wine vendor's contact information, adding another task to her growing list. By noon, Maya has coordinated 17 different vendor issues, directed the setup of 4 separate food stations, and hasn't had a moment to check her appearance since arriving. Her phone shows dozens of photos from the bridal suite, Stephanie and the other bridesmaids laughing, drinking champagne, getting their hair and makeup done professionally. Maya looks like she belongs in a completely different event. The florists finally finish the centerpieces, but not before Maya mediates a heated discussion about rose placement and table spacing. The photographers arrive and immediately begin setting up equipment, treating Maya as their primary contact for scheduling and logistics. Around 12:30, Stephanie calls again. This time she sounds slightly less cheerful. Maya, seriously. Where are you? We're about to start photos, and you're not even here yet. I'm still handling vendor coordination. There have been more issues than expected. What kind of issues could possibly take 5 hours to resolve? Maya looks around at the controlled chaos surrounding her, servers still setting up, musicians doing sound checks, photographers marking positions. Everything that would normally be handled by a professional coordinator has somehow become her responsibility. Your mom and Carol have been very specific about wanting everything perfect. Maya, I'm starting to feel like you care more about impressing my mother than being here for me. The accusation hits Maya like a physical blow. Steph, that's not fair. I'm doing this for you, are you? Because from where I'm sitting, it feels like you're avoiding us. Maya wants to explain everything, the constant stream of tasks, the way Linda and Carol have systematically taken over her day, the growing realization that she's being used. But she also doesn't want to upset Stephanie on her wedding day. I'll be there as soon as I can. I promise. You keep saying that, but it's been 5 hours, Maya. The other girls are asking where you are. After hanging up, Maya feels tears threatening. For the first time all day, she's exhausted, hungry, and beginning to understand that she's been manipulated into a position she never agreed to. But with only a few hours until the ceremony, there's no time to address the situation without ruining Stephanie's day. Linda Chen reappears, this time with a new request. Maya, dear, the catering manager needs someone to coordinate the cocktail hour service timing. Since you've been working so closely with them, you'd be the logical choice. Mrs. Chen, I really need to get ready now. The ceremony is in 3 hours. Of course. But this should only take 30 minutes. Then you'll have plenty of time to change and join the bridal party. Maya knows this is another lie, but she also knows that refusing Linda Chen at this point would create drama that would inevitably reach Stephanie. She reluctantly agrees, adding one more task to her endless list. As Maya walks back toward the catering area, she catches a glimpse of herself in a hallway mirror. Her reflection shows a tired woman in a cheap polyester apron, hair escaping from a ponytail, no makeup, looking nothing like someone about to be in a wedding party. She looks exactly like what Linda Chen intended. The realization crystallizes that everything about this day has been orchestrated to put her in this position. The early arrival time, the constant stream of tasks, the way each request has been framed as reasonable and temporary, it's all been designed to ensure she spends the entire wedding day working instead of celebrating. But with Stephanie already upset about her absence and the ceremony approaching rapidly, Maya feels trapped in a situation she can't escape without ruining her best friend's wedding day. By 1 p.m., Maya has been working for 6 straight hours without a break. Her feet ache in her sneakers, her back hurts from constantly bending over tables and carrying supplies, and she's developed a headache from stress and dehydration. The black apron now feels like a uniform of servitude rather than temporary protection for her clothes. The cocktail hour area is finally set up according to Linda's exacting specifications, but Maya barely has time to appreciate the elegant result before Carol appears with yet another crisis. The string quartet just called. Their cellist is stuck in traffic and won't arrive until 2:30. I need you to coordinate with the backup musician while I handle the ceremony seating chart emergency. Maya stares at Carol in disbelief. What seating chart emergency? 3 guests called this morning with plus ones that weren't on the original list. The entire reception layout needs to be reconfigured. Can't you handle the musician situation? I really need to start getting ready. Carol's expression hardens. Maya, when you volunteered to coordinate, you committed to ensuring this wedding runs smoothly. Are you suggesting we leave critical issues unresolved? The manipulation is so obvious now that Maya almost laughs. But with 90 minutes until the ceremony, creating conflict seems impossible. Fine. Give me the musician's contact information. As Carol walks away, Maya catches sight of Antonio Rivera shaking his head sympathetically. First wedding coordination job? He asks quietly. I'm not a coordinator. I'm the maid of honor. Antonio's eyebrows rise. Really? I've been doing weddings for 15 years, and I've never seen a maid of honor work vendor coordination for 6 hours straight. It's complicated. Antonio glances around to make sure Carol is out of earshot. Listen, I've seen this before. Some families think having a friend handle coordination saves money, but it usually ruins relationships. You should be getting ready with the bride right now, not solving my staffing problems. Maya feels validated hearing this from a professional, but she's too deep in the situation to extract herself now. I just want her day to be perfect. Trust me, your friend would rather have you standing beside her than running around fixing problems she doesn't even know about. Before Maya can respond, her phone rings. It's Linda Chen. Maya, dear, where are we with the musician situation? I'm handling it now, Mrs. Chen. Wonderful. Also, the photographer needs someone to coordinate the family photo timeline. Since you've been managing logistics all day, you'd be the natural choice. Mrs. Chen, the ceremony starts in less than 2 hours. I haven't even changed clothes yet. There's a pause that feels loaded with disapproval. Maya, I'm beginning to sense some resistance to helping with Stephanie's wedding. I thought you cared about making her day special. The guilt manipulation is masterful. Maya finds herself apologizing before she realizes what she's doing. Of course. I care. I'm sorry, I'm just tired. I understand, dear. Wedding days are stressful for everyone. But Stephanie specifically asked me to make sure you're involved in all the important details because she trusts you completely. This is a lie, and Maya knows it, but proving it would require confronting Linda directly about her manipulation tactics. With the ceremony looming, Maya chooses the path of least resistance. I'll handle the photographer coordination. Excellent. Oh, and Maya? After you finish with the musician and photographer issues, could you check on the gift table setup? Some early arrivals have already started placing presents, and we want to ensure proper organization. Maya hangs up and realizes she's just been assigned 3 more tasks that will take her right up to ceremony time. Any hope of getting ready? With the bridal party has been systematically eliminated, she calls the backup musician, spending 20 minutes coordinating arrival time, parking, and equipment setup. Then she tracks down the photographer, Marcus Williams, a young professional who immediately treats her like venue staff. You're the day of coordinator? Great, I need to review the photo timeline with someone who knows the family dynamics. Actually, I'm the maid of honor, but I've been helping coordinate logistics. Marcus looks confused. The maid of honor? But you're dressed like venue staff, and the bride's mother specifically told me you're handling all vendor coordination. It's complicated. What do you need to know about the photo timeline? Well, normally, I'd review this with the maid of honor since she's typically in most of the important shots. But if you're coordinating instead of participating, the implication hangs in the air. Maya realizes that Linda has told vendors she's a coordinator rather than a member of the wedding party, ensuring they'll treat her as staff rather than an honored guest. I'll be in the photos. I'm just helping coordinate until then. Marcus nods, though he still looks puzzled. Okay, well, the family photos start at 3:30, then bridal party photos at 4, ceremony at 5, cocktail hour at 6:30, and reception photos throughout the evening. Maya does quick math and realizes that if she's coordinating until ceremony time, she'll have approximately 15 minutes to transform from sweaty coordinator to polished maid of honor. It's physically impossible. Her phone buzzes with a text from Emma, one of the other bridesmaids. Maya, where are you? Stephanie is getting really upset. She keeps asking if you're mad at her or something. Maya's heart sinks. She calls Stephanie. Immediately, who answers on the first ring with a voice that sounds hurt and confused. Maya, seriously, what is going on? Everyone's asking where you are, and I don't know what to tell them. I've been handling vendor issues all morning. There have been a lot of problems. What kind of problems could possibly take this long? My mom hired Carol specifically so we wouldn't have to deal with vendor issues. Maya pauses, realizing this confirms that Linda never intended for Maya to be doing actual coordination work. The small tasks and helping Carol were lies from the beginning. Your mom has been asking me to handle various situations as they come up. My mom? Maya, my mom should be handling her own wedding planning stress. You're supposed to be here with me. I know, and I want to be. But everything I've been asked to do has been framed as urgent and necessary. What exactly have you been doing that's so urgent? Maya looks around at the perfectly set cocktail area, the organized gift table, the coordinated vendor schedules. None of it required the maid of honor's personal attention, but all of it was presented as essential, mostly coordinating with caterers, handling vendor issues, managing setup logistics. Maya, that's literally what we paid Carol to do. Why would my mom ask you to do the wedding planner's job? The question forces Maya to confront what she's been avoiding all day. This isn't about helping or emergencies or Stephanie's perfect day. It's about Linda Chen asserting control and ensuring Maya knows her place in the family hierarchy. I don't know, Steph. I honestly don't know. Well, I need you to figure it out because I'm getting married in 2 hours, and my best friend is missing. Everything important. After hanging up, Maya feels a surge of anger that she's been suppressing all day. She's been systematically manipulated and excluded from her best friend's wedding day, all while being told it's for Stephanie's benefit. Just then, David appears, now dressed in his wedding attire and looking increasingly concerned. Maya, you're still in that apron. The ceremony is in 2 hours. I know. I'm trying to finish coordinating a few last things. David gently but firmly takes her clipboard away. No. This stops now. You're the maid of honor, not the help. Your future mother-in-law has been very clear about what needs to be handled. Maya, Linda doesn't get to decide how you spend my wedding day. You're one of the most important people in our lives, and you've been treated like hired help all day. I volunteered to help coordinate. You volunteered to help, not to work a 12-hour shift in an apron while missing everything meaningful about the wedding. A lot of love and effort went into bringing this story to life. If you're enjoying it, we'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe to our channel. Now, back to where we left off. Before Maya can respond, Linda Chen appears as if summoned by the mention of her name. She's now dressed elegantly for the ceremony and carries herself with the authority of someone completely in control of the situation. David, dear, I hope you're not disrupting Maya's coordination work. We still have several issues that need attention. Linda, with all due respect, Maya is my fiancé's best friend, not your employee. She needs to get ready for the ceremony. Linda's smile remains perfectly in place, but her eyes become calculating. Of course, David. I simply assumed Maya wanted to ensure everything was perfect for Stephanie's special day. But if she'd prefer to prioritize her appearance over her friend's wedding, the manipulation is so smooth and vicious that David actually takes a step back. Maya recognizes the technique. Linda has just reframed Maya's need to get ready as vanity and selfishness. That's not what I said, Mrs. Chen. Of course not, dear. I'm simply pointing out that there are still coordination tasks that need attention, and Maya has been so wonderfully helpful all day. What tasks specifically? Linda consults her own clipboard with theatrical precision. The gift table needs final organization, the cocktail hour stations need last-minute adjustments, and someone needs to coordinate guest arrival flow to prevent bottlenecks. Those are all things the venue staff or Carol should handle. Carol is managing the ceremony logistics, and the venue staff doesn't know our specific preferences. Maya has been working with all the vendors, so she's the natural choice to handle these final details. David looks between Linda and Maya, clearly seeing the manipulation but uncertain how to combat it without creating drama that would impact Stephanie. How long will these tasks take? Linda waves dismissively. 30 minutes at most. Then Maya will have plenty of time to get ready. Maya knows this is another lie. Every 30-minute task has taken at least an hour, and Linda has been systematically adding new responsibilities all day. Mrs. Chen, I really need to start getting ready now. The other bridesmaids have been preparing for hours. Of course, dear. But surely Stephanie's perfect wedding day is worth a small sacrifice of preparation time. The guilt manipulation combined with the public pressure from David's presence makes refusing feel impossible. Maya realizes she's been trapped in a series of increasingly manipulative commitments, each one seeming reasonable in isolation but collectively designed to exclude her from the wedding experience. Fine. 30 minutes. Linda's triumphant smile confirms that this has all been orchestrated exactly as planned. After Linda leaves, David shakes his head in frustration. Maya, I'm sorry about this. I had no idea she was manipulating you like this. It's not your fault. I should have set boundaries earlier. No, you shouldn't have needed to. A normal person wouldn't exploit someone's kindness like this. Maya looks down at her stained apron, her casual clothes, her complete unreadiness for a formal wedding. She realizes that even if she finishes Linda's tasks in exactly 30 minutes, she'll have no time for hair, makeup, or the careful preparation that bridesmaid duties require. David, I think I need to accept that I'm not going to be able to participate in this wedding the way I planned. That's unacceptable. You're one of the most important people in our lives, but if I refuse Linda's requests now, it'll create drama that will impact Stephanie's day. And if I try to rush through getting ready, I'll look terrible in all the photos. David's jaw tightens with anger. This is exactly what Linda wanted. She's engineered a situation where you can't win. Maya finally understands the full scope of what's happened. She's been systematically maneuvered into a position where she must choose between fulfilling coordinator duties or participating as maid of honor, ensuring that no matter what she chooses, she'll appear to be letting Stephanie down. The realization that she's been deliberately sabotaged by someone she trusted hits her like a physical blow. All day she's been blaming herself for poor time management and overcommitment, when actually she's been the victim of calculated manipulation designed to exclude her from her best friend's wedding. Standing in the beautifully decorated venue, wearing a cheap polyester apron, Maya finally sees the situation clearly. But with 1 hour until the ceremony, she's trapped by the very kindness and loyalty that made her vulnerable to this manipulation in the first place. At 3 p.m., with only 2 hours until the ceremony, Maya finds herself crouched behind the gift table arranging wedding presents while guests begin arriving for the celebration. Her knees ache against the hard floor, and her hands are dirty from handling boxes and gift bags that some attendees carelessly dumped rather than properly placed. She watches through the venue's grand windows as elegantly dressed guests step out of luxury cars, the women in flowing dresses and the men in sharp suits. Everyone looks polished and celebratory, excited to witness Stephanie and David's union. Maya, meanwhile, remains hidden behind furniture in her stained apron, invisible to the very people she should be greeting as the maid of honor. A guest approaches the table, an elderly woman in a navy blue dress with pearls, clearly one of Stephanie's relatives. She sets down an elaborate silver picture frame and notices Maya organizing gifts. Excuse me, dear, could you tell me where I might find the bride? I'm her great-aunt Margaret, and I'd love to congratulate her before the ceremony. Maya starts to respond naturally, then catches herself. If she identifies herself as the maid of honor while dressed like venue staff, it will create awkward questions she can't answer without exposing the manipulation. She's getting ready upstairs with the bridal party. I'm sure she'll be thrilled to see you after the ceremony. Thank you, sweetheart. You're working so hard. Make sure someone gives you a nice tip at the end of the evening. The comment stings more than it should. Maya has officially become indistinguishable from hired help to wedding guests. She wonders if Stephanie's family photos will include a mysterious gap where the maid of honor should have been standing. Her phone buzzes with increasingly frantic texts from the other bridesmaids. Emma, Maya. Seriously, where are you? Photos start in 30 minutes. Sarah, Stephanie is crying. She thinks you're mad at her about something. Cousin Rachel, I flew across the country for this wedding and I haven't even seen you yet. What's going on? Maya stares at the messages, feeling the weight of how completely she's been isolated from the wedding party. While she's been arranging gift bags and coordinating vendor schedules, the people who matter most have been celebrating without her. Just then, Carol Jenkins appears with a harried expression and yet another clipboard full of urgent tasks. Maya. We have a significant problem. The bathroom attendants haven't arrived, and guests are already using the facilities. Someone needs to ensure the restrooms remain stocked and presentable throughout the event. Maya looks up from her crouched position behind the gift table, incredulous. You want me to be a bathroom attendant? I'm asking you to coordinate restroom maintenance, just as you've been coordinating other venue logistics all day. Carol, I'm the maid of honor. I need to get ready for photos that start in 30 minutes. Carol's expression becomes patronizing. Maya, you've been doing coordination work all day. Why would you suddenly prioritize appearance over ensuring Stephanie's guests have a pleasant experience? The manipulation has become so blatant that Maya almost admires its audacity. Carol has just suggested that basic human hygiene needs are less important than monitoring toilet paper supplies, because I'm not actually a coordinator. I'm Stephanie's best friend, and I belong in those photos. Carol sighs as if dealing with a difficult employee. Maya, when you volunteered to help coordinate this wedding, you made a commitment. We can't simply abandon that commitment when it becomes inconvenient. I volunteered to help, not to spend the entire wedding day working while everyone else celebrates. Perhaps you should have clarified the scope of your volunteer commitment before agreeing to help. Maya realizes that Carol has been systematically documenting every task Maya agreed to, building a case that Maya voluntarily chose coordination work over bridesmaid duties. It's a sophisticated manipulation designed to make Maya appear unreliable rather than victimized. Before Maya can respond, Linda Chen appears like a perfectly timed reinforcement. She's now fully dressed for the wedding in an elegant champagne-colored mother of the bride dress, her hair and makeup professionally done. The contrast with Maya's disheveled appearance couldn't be more stark. Is there a problem here? I could hear raised voices from across the room. Carol adjusts her glasses. Maya is expressing reluctance to complete the coordination tasks she volunteered for. Linda's eyebrows rise in a perfect expression of concerned disappointment. Oh my. Maya, dear, I hope you're not having second thoughts about helping with Stephanie's special day. Mrs. Chen, I've been working for 8 hours straight. I need time to get ready for the ceremony. Of course you do, sweetheart. But surely you understand that guest comfort takes priority over personal appearance? Maya feels like she's drowning in reasonable-sounding arguments that are actually completely unreasonable. The idea that the maid of honor should sacrifice her participation in the wedding to monitor bathroom supplies is absurd, but Linda and Carol have framed it as a choice between selfishness and dedication. How long will restroom coordination take? Linda exchanges a quick glance with Carol. Probably just spot checks every 15 minutes throughout the evening. Very minimal time commitment. Maya knows this is another lie. Spot checks every 15 minutes means working through the entire reception, ensuring she never sits down, never eats, never participates in any wedding activities. Mrs. Chen, if I take this task, I won't be able to participate in the wedding at all. Linda's expression becomes sympathetic but firm. Maya, I understand this is difficult, but someone needs to ensure our guests are comfortable. Since you've been managing logistics all day, you're the natural choice. What about the venue staff? Or Carol? Or literally anyone else? The venue staff is handling other duties, and Carol needs to coordinate the ceremony logistics. You're the only person available who understands our standards. Maya realizes she's been maneuvered into being the only person available for undesirable tasks because Linda has systematically assigned everyone else to more prestigious duties. It's a masterclass in manipulation. Just then, David appears again, this time looking genuinely angry. He's now in his full wedding attire, a charcoal gray suit that makes him look handsome and groom-like. When he sees Maya still crouched behind the gift table in her apron, his expression darkens. Maya, what are you doing? The photos start in 20 minutes. She's handling some final coordination details. Linda interjects smoothly. We're just discussing Restroom maintenance during the reception, David stares at his future mother-in-law with undisguised disbelief. You want the maid of honor to monitor bathrooms during her best friend's wedding? Someone needs to ensure guest comfort, dear. Maya has been so helpful with logistics all day, Linda. This has gone far enough. Maya is not venue staff. She's one of the most important people in our lives, and you've turned her into unpaid labor. Linda's mask of sweetness finally slips slightly. David, I'm simply ensuring that Stephanie's wedding meets the standards she deserves. If Maya prefers to prioritize her appearance over her friend's special day, that's not what this is about, and you know it. Maya has been working since 7 a.m. while everyone else got to enjoy the pre-wedding festivities. Carol steps in to support Linda. Mr. Harrison, Maya volunteered for these coordination duties. No one forced her to help. David turns to Maya with frustration and sympathy. Maya, please tell me you see what's happening here. Maya looks around at the three faces watching her, Linda's calculated control, Carol's professional manipulation, and David's genuine concern. She realizes this moment will define not just her wedding day experience, but her entire relationship with Stephanie's family going forward. I see it, David. I see all of it, then walk away. Right now. Go upstairs, get ready, and be the maid of honor Stephanie needs. But Maya also sees Stephanie's guests arriving, the perfect venue setup she spent all day creating, the seamless coordination that will make Stephanie's day beautiful. Walking away now means abandoning the very perfection she's worked so hard to achieve. If I leave now, who will handle the remaining coordination? Linda jumps on this immediately. Exactly my concern, dear. We can't simply abandon our responsibilities, Maya, David says firmly. This was never your responsibility. You're the maid of honor, not the wedding planner, but the guilt manipulation has been too effective. Maya can't shake the feeling that walking away now would ruin Stephanie's wedding, even though she logically knows that's not true. I can't leave everything unfinished. David runs his hands through his carefully styled hair, clearly frustrated. Maya, if you keep working coordination, you'll miss the entire wedding. Is that really what Stephanie would want? Before Maya can answer, her phone rings. It's Stephanie, and from David's expression, he knows this call will be crucial. Maya answers with trepidation. Hey, Steph. Maya, where the hell are you? Stephanie's voice is strained with stress and hurt. Photos start in 15 minutes, and you're not even here. Emma said you're still downstairs working. I'm finishing up some coordination tasks. I'll be up as soon as I can. There's a long pause. Maya, I need you to listen to me very carefully. I don't care about coordination tasks. I don't care about vendor problems. I don't care about anything except having my best friend beside me on the most important day of my life. But your mom said, I don't care what my mom said. Maya, I'm getting married in 2 hours, and my maid of honor is missing everything that matters. Do you understand how that makes me feel? Maya feels tears threatening for the first time all day. The exhaustion, frustration, and manipulation finally overwhelm her carefully maintained composure. Steph, I've been trying to make your day perfect. My day won't be perfect without you in it. Maya, I need you to stop whatever you're doing and come upstairs right now. Linda steps closer, clearly trying to overhear the conversation. She mouths, guest comfort, and points toward the restrooms. Maya looks at Linda's expectant face, then at David's encouraging expression, then at the guests beginning to fill the venue for a wedding she's helped create but won't get to enjoy. Okay, Stephanie. I'm coming upstairs, thank God. Maya, seriously, I was starting to think you didn't want to be in my wedding. After hanging up, Maya faces Linda and Carol, both of whom look displeased with this development. I need to go get ready now. Linda's voice becomes cold. Maya, if you abandon your coordination duties now, I'll have to handle these tasks myself during my daughter's wedding. Is that really what you want? The final manipulation attempt is almost impressive in its audacity. Linda is suggesting that Maya's decision to fulfill her actual role as maid of honor will somehow ruin Linda's enjoyment of the wedding. Mrs. Chen, these tasks were never my responsibility to begin with. You volunteered to help coordinate, Carol adds. Abandoning that commitment now shows poor character. Maya realizes that no matter what she does, Linda and Carol will frame her choices as character flaws. If she continues working, she's abandoning her best friend. If she stops working, she's abandoning her commitments. It's a perfectly constructed trap designed to make her lose regardless of her choice, but David's presence gives her strength she didn't know she had. I'm going upstairs to be the maid of honor. You'll have to figure out bathroom monitoring without me. As Maya walks toward the stairs, still wearing the black apron but finally choosing herself and Stephanie over Linda's manipulation, she hears Carol muttering to Linda about unreliable volunteers and poor planning. But for the first time all day, Maya feels like she's making the right choice, even if it's 8 hours too late. Maya rushes up the mansion's elegant staircase, her sneakers squeaking against the polished marble steps. She's still wearing the black apron over her casual clothes, her hair is falling out of its messy ponytail, and she has exactly 12 minutes before photos are supposed to begin. As she reaches the bridal suite door, she can hear laughter and music coming from inside, the sound of people enjoying themselves without her. She pauses outside the door, suddenly self-conscious about her appearance. Through the keyhole, she catches glimpses of the other bridesmaids in various stages of preparation, hair in elegant updos, makeup professionally applied, wearing matching silk robes that say Team Bride in gold lettering. Maya realizes she never received one of those robes. Taking a deep breath, she knocks softly and enters. The bridal suite is a vision of controlled chaos, makeup stations set up by windows, hairstyling tools scattered across antique dressers, champagne glasses and half-eaten pastries on silver trays. Stephanie sits in the center of it all, radiant in her white silk robe, getting final touches on her makeup from a professional artist. When Stephanie sees Maya in the mirror, her expression shifts from joy to shock to something approaching anger. Maya, what are you wearing? The room falls silent. Emma, Sarah, and cousin Rachel all turn to stare at Maya, their expressions ranging from confusion to concern. The makeup artist pauses with her brush halfway to Stephanie's face. I'm sorry I'm late. I got caught up with coordination issues downstairs. Maya, you look like you've been working in a restaurant kitchen. What coordination issues could possibly take 9 hours? Maya becomes acutely aware of how she must appear to everyone, sweaty, disheveled, wearing an apron that literally says, wedding staff. While they're all polished and wedding ready, there were a lot of vendor problems. Your mom and Carol needed someone to handle logistics. Emma steps forward, her bridesmaid dress already on and looking perfect. Maya, we've been texting you all day. We did our nails together, had brunch, did a champagne toast, took getting ready. Photos, you missed everything. I know, and I'm sorry. I wanted to be here, but there were constant emergencies. Sarah, always the most direct of the group, crosses her arms. What kind of emergencies? Maya, we hired a wedding planner specifically so the bridal party wouldn't have to work. Maya struggles to explain without making Stephanie feel guilty about her mother's manipulation. It's complicated. There were issues with catering setup, vendor coordination, guest services. Stephanie stands up abruptly, her makeup artist stepping back in surprise. Maya, stop. Just stop talking about vendors and coordination. I don't care about any of that, but Steph, I was trying to make your day perfect. My day isn't perfect. My best friend missed everything meaningful about my wedding morning because she was playing wedding planner instead of being my maid of honor. The hurt in Stephanie's voice hits Maya like a physical blow. She realizes that while she was sacrificing her own experience to create Stephanie's perfect day, she was actually ruining it by being absent. Rachel, who flew in from Portland, shakes her head in disbelief. Maya, I haven't seen you since college graduation. I was looking forward to catching up during the getting ready process. I'm here now. We still have a few minutes before photos. Emma checks her phone. Actually, we have about 8 minutes. Maya, there's no way you can get ready in 8 minutes. Maya looks around the room at the professional hair and makeup stations, the careful preparation that's been happening for hours. Her heart sinks as she realizes the mathematical impossibility of transforming from sweaty coordinator to polished bridesmaid in the time remaining. Can't we push the photos back a few minutes? The photographer has a tight schedule, Sarah explains. And guests are already arriving. We can't delay the timeline for the entire wedding. Stephanie's eyes fill with tears, though she's trying not to cry and ruin her makeup. Maya, I feel like I don't even know you anymore. The Maya I know would never choose vendor coordination over being here for me. I didn't choose anything, Steph. I was asked to help, and every task led to another task, and before I knew it, you were asked to help with small things. Nobody asked you to work a full-time job and miss everything important. Maya wants to explain about Linda's manipulation, about the systematic way she was isolated and overworked, but doing so would mean exposing Stephanie's mother as manipulative on her wedding day. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I really am. I thought I was helping. Well, you weren't helping. You were abandoning me. The words hang in the air like a slap. Maya realizes that her attempts to create the perfect wedding day have been interpreted as abandonment by the person she was trying to help. Just then, there's a knock on the door. The photographer, Marcus Williams, peeks his head in. Ladies, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we really need to start photos. The timeline is already tight. Maya looks down at her appearance. Wrinkled clothes, stained apron, no makeup, hair a mess. She looks absolutely nothing like a bridesmaid should look. Marcus, we need 5 more minutes, Stephanie says. I wish I could give you 5 minutes, but we're already running behind. The ceremony starts in 90 minutes, and we have a lot of shots to capture. Emma steps forward diplomatically. Maybe we could start with some shots of just Stephanie, then add the bridesmaids. Marcus nods. That could work. Bride-only portraits first. Stephanie looks at Maya with a mixture of sadness and frustration. Maya, I don't think you can be in the formal photos looking like that. The statement feels like a knife to the heart. Maya realizes she's been effectively excluded from the wedding photos, the permanent record of Stephanie's special day, because of choices that weren't really choices at all. I understand. Do? Because I feel like you chose coordinator duties over bridesmaid duties, and now there are consequences. Maya wants to defend herself, to explain the manipulation and pressure. But she also sees the tears threatening to spill from Stephanie's carefully made up eyes. You're right. I made poor choices today. As the group prepares to leave for photos without her, Maya stands alone in the bridal suite, still wearing her wedding staff apron. The contrast between the elegant room and her disheveled appearance feels symbolic of how completely she's been excluded from the celebration. Her phone buzzes with a text from David. How did it go upstairs? Are you getting ready? Maya stares at the message, unsure how to respond. How do you explain that you've been systematically isolated from your best friend's wedding day and then blamed for the isolation? She responds, not going to be in photos. Still in coordination clothes. David's response comes immediately, that's unacceptable. Where are you? Bridal suite. Everyone left for photos. Stay there. I'm coming up. Before Maya can respond, David appears in the doorway. His expression, when he sees her alone in the empty bridal suite, is a mixture of anger and sympathy. Maya, what happened? She explains the confrontation with Stephanie, the impossible timeline, the realization that she's been excluded from the wedding photos and blamed for choices she didn't really make. This is exactly what Linda wanted, David says grimly. She engineered this entire situation, but Stephanie doesn't see it that way. She thinks I chose coordination over friendship, because that's how Linda designed it to look. Maya, you've been manipulated by someone who's very good at manipulation. It doesn't matter now. The damage is done. David sits down next to Maya on the elegant settee. Maya, I need to tell you something about Linda that Stephanie doesn't know. What? Do you mean, Linda has never liked you? From the first time Stephanie brought you home in middle school, Linda saw you as competition for Stephanie's attention. That can't be true. She's always been nice to me. Linda is nice to everyone when it serves her purposes. But she's been systematically trying to diminish your role in Stephanie's life for years. Maya thinks back to various interactions with Linda over the years, subtle comments about Maya's family background, gentle suggestions that Stephanie might want to expand her social circle, observations about how much time Stephanie spent with Maya instead of other friends. She's been planning this, David continues. The coordination requests, the vendor issues, the timeline conflicts, all of it was designed to exclude you from the wedding while making it look like your choice. But why would she go to such elaborate lengths? Because today makes your friendship with Stephanie official in a way that threatens Linda's control. After today, you're not just Stephanie's friend, you're family. Linda needed to establish the hierarchy before that could happen. Maya realizes the full scope of what she's been subjected to. It wasn't just wedding day manipulation, it was a calculated campaign to undermine her relationship with Stephanie at the moment when that relationship was becoming most significant. David, what am I supposed to do now? Stephanie thinks I abandoned her, and I can't explain what really happened without ruining her wedding day. You're going to get ready, and you're going to be in those photos, and you're going to stand beside Stephanie at that altar, but there's no time, and I look terrible. David pulls out his phone. My sister is a makeup artist. She's already here as a guest, and she owes me a favor. As for time, we're pushing the photo timeline back. You can't do that. It'll mess up the entire schedule. Maya, I'm the groom. I can do whatever I want with my wedding timeline. For the first time all day, Maya feels like someone is fighting for her instead of manipulating her. But she also worries about the ripple effects of disrupting Linda's carefully planned schedule. What about your future mother-in-law? She'll be furious, let her be furious. This is my wedding too, and I'm not letting my wife's best friend be excluded because of petty jealousy and manipulation. As David makes calls to adjust the timeline and bring in his sister for emergency hair and makeup, Maya finally allows herself to believe that the day might be salvageable. But she also knows that Linda Chen won't accept this disruption quietly, and the real confrontation is still coming. 20 minutes later, Maya sits in front of a makeshift vanity as David's sister. Amanda works magic with professional makeup brushes. Amanda is a petite woman in her 30s with an artist's eye and gentle hands, treating Maya's transformation like a rescue mission rather than a routine beauty appointment. The wedding staff apron lies discarded on the floor like a shed skin, replaced by Maya's bridesmaid dress, a flowing dusty rose gown that she'd spent 2 months saving to afford. For the first time all day, Maya looks like she belongs at an elegant wedding rather than working one. Your bone structure is incredible, Amanda murmurs while applying foundation. I can't believe you've been hiding under exhaustion and stress. All day, Maya watches her reflection change from tired coordinator to radiant bridesmaid. It feels like watching herself return from exile. David paces behind them, periodically checking his phone and radiating protective energy. Maya, I need you to understand something important. What happened today wasn't random chaos or poor planning. It was orchestrated." "What do you mean orchestrated?" Amanda pauses her work to listen, clearly sensing the gravity of the conversation. "Linda has been planning this manipulation for months. The early arrival time, the vendor coordination requests, the constant stream of urgent tasks, all of it was designed to isolate you from the wedding experience." "But why would she plan something so elaborate?" David sits down where Maya can see him in the mirror. "Because Linda Chen operates like a corporate strategist, and you represent a threat to her control over Stephanie's life." Amanda resumes working, but Maya can see her listening intently. "I'm not a threat to anyone. I just want Stephanie to be happy. That's exactly what makes you dangerous to Linda. You have influence over Stephanie that isn't based on guilt, obligation, or financial control. It's based on genuine love and friendship." Maya thinks about her relationship with Stephanie, the late-night phone calls during college, the celebrations and heartbreaks they've shared, the way they can communicate with just a look across a crowded room. "Linda has spent years subtly undermining your friendship," David continues. "Remember when Stephanie almost didn't invite you to her graduation party because Linda suggested the guest list was getting too large?" Maya remembers that incident. She'd felt hurt but assumed it was just typical party planning stress. Or when Linda convinced Stephanie to go to that expensive spa weekend instead of the camping trip you two had planned? That too had seemed like a reasonable change at the time, but Maya recalls feeling disappointed about missing their annual tradition. Amanda speaks up while applying eyeshadow. "Honey, this sounds like my ex-mother-in-law. Some women see other women as competition for their children's attention, even when it makes no sense." David nods. "Linda has been systematically creating distance between you and Stephanie while making it seem natural. But today was different. Today was about establishing permanent hierarchy." Maya's phone buzzes with a text from Stephanie. "Where are you?" "David said you're getting ready but photos are supposed to start soon." David glances at the message. "Stephanie doesn't know I'm helping you. She thinks you're handling this on your own, which is exactly how Linda wanted it to look." "What do you mean?" "If you had shown up to photos disheveled and unprepared, it would have confirmed Linda's narrative that you don't prioritize Stephanie's important moments. If you had missed photos entirely, it would have proven you're unreliable." Amanda stops working and stares at David. "That's diabolical." "It's effective. Linda created a situation where Maya couldn't win no matter what she chose." Maya realizes the sophistication of the manipulation. Every choice she was given led to the same outcome. Appearing to prioritize other things over Stephanie. "But David, how do you know all this? Has Linda said something to you?" "Not directly. But I've been watching her operate for 2 years, and I recognize the patterns. Plus, I overheard a conversation between Linda and Carol that was very revealing." Amanda finishes Maya's makeup and starts on her hair. "What kind of conversation?" 3 weeks ago, I was at Stephanie's apartment when Linda called. Stephanie put her on speaker while she was getting ready for work. Linda asked if Maya was still planning to help coordinate the wedding. Maya feels her stomach tighten. Stephanie said yes, that Maya had volunteered to help with logistics. Then Linda said, and I quote, "Perfect. That will keep her busy and out of the way during the important moments." The words hit Maya like ice water. Out of the way during the important moments. Amanda's hands pause in Maya's hair. She actually said that, word for word. When Stephanie asked what she meant, Linda claimed she was worried about Maya feeling overwhelmed by bridesmaid duties. But her tone suggested something completely different. Maya stares at her reflection, seeing her transformation but feeling the weight of calculated betrayal. "There's more," David continues reluctantly. "Last week, I heard Linda on the phone with Carol specifically discussing how to keep Maya occupied during the morning preparation time." "What did she say?" "She told Carol to create a constant stream of vendor issues that would require immediate attention. She wanted Maya to feel indispensable to the wedding's success while actually being excluded from the celebration." Amanda shakes her head in disgust. "This is beyond manipulation. This is psychological warfare." Maya thinks about all the urgent tasks, the way each one led seamlessly to the next, the careful timing that ensured she never had a moment to step back and see the bigger picture. "But the most damaging part," David continues, "is that Linda made sure Stephanie would blame you for missing everything important." "How did she manage that?" "By framing your absence as choices rather than assignments. Every time Stephanie asked where you were, Linda would say something like, 'Maya chose to handle the vendor situation,' or 'Maya felt the coordination was more important.'" Maya realizes that Stephanie's hurt and anger weren't spontaneous reactions, they were the intended result of careful manipulation designed to damage their friendship. "David, why didn't you say something earlier?" "Because I didn't realize how extensive. It was until I saw you in that apron, being treated like hired help while guests arrived. That's when I understood this wasn't about wedding planning, it was about putting you in your place." Amanda finishes Maya's hair in an elegant updo that transforms her completely. Looking in the mirror, Maya sees the bridesmaid she was supposed to be all along. "You look beautiful," Amanda says softly. Like someone who belongs in a wedding party, not a kitchen. Just then, there's a sharp knock on the door. Linda Chen's voice calls out with barely contained irritation, "David, dear, I need to speak with you immediately. We're running behind schedule. And guests are asking questions." David exchanges a look with Maya in the mirror. Showtime. He opens the door to reveal Linda looking perfectly composed but with steel in her eyes. When she sees Maya's transformation, her expression flickers with something that might be panic. "Maya, you look lovely. But I'm afraid we've missed the photo window. Perhaps you could rejoin the coordination efforts while we handle the ceremony preparations?" The request is phrased politely, but Maya recognizes it as an attempt to pull her back into the coordinator role now that she looks like she belongs with the wedding party. "Actually, Linda, Maya is exactly where she needs to be. We're heading to photos now." Linda's smile becomes strained. "David, dear, the timeline is very tight. We can't afford delays." "Then we'll make time. Maya is the maid of honor, and she's going to fulfill that role properly." Linda's mask slips slightly. "David, I think you're being unrealistic about the schedule constraints." "Linda, I think you've been unrealistic about Maya's role in this wedding." The tension between them is palpable. Maya realizes she's witnessing a power struggle that goes far beyond wedding day logistics. "Perhaps Maya could coordinate the guest seating while we handle photos? We still need someone to manage the vendor situations." Maya finally finds her voice. "Mrs. Chen, I'm done coordinating vendor situations. I'm the maid of honor, and that's the only role I'm filling today." Linda's eyes narrow almost imperceptibly. "Maya, dear, I hope you're not going to let us down when we need you most." The guilt manipulation attempt is so obvious now that Maya almost laughs. "Mrs. Chen, the only person who let anyone down today was you. You systematically excluded me from this wedding while making it look like my choice." Linda's composure cracks slightly. "I'm sure I don't know what you mean." David steps forward. "Linda, I heard your conversation with Carol about keeping Maya busy and out of the way during important moments. I know exactly what you've been doing." Linda's face goes through several emotions: surprise, calculation, and finally resignation that her manipulation has been exposed. "I was simply trying to ensure the wedding ran smoothly." By turning the maid of honor into unpaid labor while destroying her friendship with your daughter. Linda draws herself up with wounded dignity. "I was protecting Stephanie from unreliable people who make promises they can't keep." The accusation hangs in the air, but Maya no longer feels its sting. She understands now that Linda's opinion of her reliability was never based on actual evidence, it was based on threat assessment. "Mrs. Chen, the only unreliable thing about today was your honesty about my actual role." As Maya, David, and Amanda prepare to leave for photos, Linda makes one final attempt at control. "If you walk away from your coordination duties now, Maya, you'll be abandoning Stephanie when she needs you most." Maya turns back with newfound clarity. "Mrs. Chen, the only thing I'm abandoning is the role you created to diminish me. I'm going to be exactly what Stephanie asked me to be, her maid of honor." For the first time all day, Maya walks toward her actual purpose at the wedding, leaving Linda Chen's manipulation behind like the discarded apron on the floor. Maya walks down the mansion's grand staircase in her bridesmaid dress, her hair elegantly styled and makeup flawless. She looks radiant, confident, and most importantly, like she belongs at this wedding. The transformation from exhausted coordinator to honored friend feels symbolic of reclaiming her rightful place in Stephanie's life. At the bottom of the stairs, she finds Stephanie waiting with the other bridesmaids, clearly having been told about the delay. When Stephanie sees Maya, her expression shifts from anxiety to relief to something approaching awe. "Maya, oh my God, you look incredible. But where have you been? David said you were getting ready, but that was almost an hour ago." Maya takes a deep breath, knowing this conversation will define their friendship going forward. "I need to tell you something important about today, but first, I owe you an apology." The other bridesmaids gather around, sensing the significance of the moment. "Steph, you were right to feel abandoned today. I wasn't there for the moments that mattered, and I'm sorry for that." Stephanie's eyes soften. "Maya, I was so hurt. I kept wondering if you even wanted to be my maid of honor. I've wanted nothing more than to be your maid of honor. But I need you to understand what actually happened today." Maya explains the systematic manipulation, the way coordination tasks multiplied and consumed her day, the impossible timeline that ensured she'd miss every meaningful moment. She's careful to present facts rather than accusations, letting Stephanie draw her own conclusions. As Maya talks, Stephanie's expression changes from confusion to understanding to anger. "Are you telling me my mother deliberately sabotaged your day?" Maya hesitates, not wanting to damage Stephanie's relationship with Linda on her wedding day. David appears beside them. "Steph, I think you need to hear something." He plays the recording on his phone, Linda's voice clearly stating her intention to keep Maya busy and out of the way during important moments. Stephanie listens in stunned silence, her face cycling through emotions. When the recording ends, she looks at Maya with tears in her eyes. Maya, I'm so sorry. I blamed you for something that wasn't your fault, you couldn't have known. Your mom is very good at making manipulation look like reasonable requests. Emma shakes her head in disbelief. Mrs. Chen actually planned this? That's psychotic, Sarah adds. Maya, I can't believe you went along with it for so long. I would have told her to handle her own vendor problems after the first hour. Maya realizes that from the outside, her choices might have seemed obviously wrong. But manipulation works by creating situations where victims can't see the full picture. It's easy to say that when you're not in the middle of it. Every request seemed reasonable in isolation. It was only when I stepped back that I could see the pattern. Stephanie wipes her eyes carefully to avoid smudging her makeup. Maya, how could I ever make this up to you? You don't need to make anything up. You're my best friend, and I love you. I just want to be here for your wedding the way I always planned to be. Rachel, who's been quiet during this revelation, speaks up. But what about Mrs. Chen? She can't just get away with this. Stephanie's expression hardens with a determination Maya hasn't seen before. Oh, she's not getting away with it. Not today, and not ever again. As they prepare for photos, Linda appears at the top of the staircase, clearly having heard voices and come to investigate the delay. When she sees Maya with the bridal party, looking elegant and included, her face shows carefully controlled displeasure. Girls, we really need to move to photos now. The schedule is quite tight. Stephanie looks up at her mother with an expression Linda has probably never seen before, cold anger mixed with disappointment. Mother, we need to talk. Can it wait until after the ceremony, dear? We have so much to coordinate. No, it can't wait. Maya just told me about your conversation with Carol regarding keeping her busy and out of the way today. Linda's composure falters for just a moment before she recovers. I'm sure there's been some misunderstanding. David holds up his phone. Would you like to hear the recording? Linda's face goes pale, but she maintains her dignified bearing. I was simply trying to ensure your wedding day was perfect. Stephanie. By sabotaging my best friend's participation? By turning my maid of honor into unpaid labor? How exactly does that make my day perfect? Maya watches the confrontation with mixed feelings. She's glad the truth is coming out, but she also feels guilty that her situation has created conflict between Stephanie and her mother. Stephanie, Maya says gently, today is about you and David. We don't need to resolve everything right now, but Stephanie's anger has been building as she processes the full scope of her mother's manipulation. No, Maya. This needs to be addressed. Mother, you deliberately excluded my best friend from my wedding day. You made her miss getting ready with us, you kept her from photos, you tried to make her work as a servant while everyone else celebrated. Linda attempts to regain control of the narrative. Stephanie, dear, Maya volunteered to help coordinate. No one forced her to do anything. Mom, stop lying. I heard the recording. You specifically planned to keep her away from the important moments. I was protecting you from someone who clearly doesn't prioritize your friendship. Maya steps forward, her voice calm but firm. Mrs. Chen, the only person who didn't prioritize my friendship with Stephanie today was you. Linda's mask finally slips completely, revealing the calculating person underneath the gracious exterior of Maya. You've been manipulating my daughter's emotions for years. You make her feel guilty when she doesn't spend enough time with you, you insert yourself into family decisions, and you've convinced her that your opinion matters more than her family's. The accusation is so opposite to reality that Maya almost laughs. Mrs. Chen, I've never done any of those things. Stephanie's voice cuts through the tension like a blade. Mother, that's exactly what you do to me. You're describing your own behavior and projecting it onto Maya. The revelation hangs in the air. Linda realizes she's accidentally confessed to her own manipulation tactics by trying to accuse Maya of them. David steps protectively closer to Maya and Stephanie. Linda, I think you need to step back and let us handle the rest of the wedding day. This is my daughter's wedding, Linda says with wounded pride, and Maya is my wife's chosen family. David responds firmly. She will be treated with the respect she deserves, or you and I are going to have a serious problem. Linda looks around at the faces watching her, Stephanie's anger, David's protectiveness, Maya's quiet dignity, and the bridesmaids' obvious disapproval. She realizes she's lost control of the situation entirely. I need some air, Linda says stiffly, and walks away with as much dignity as she can muster. After she leaves, Stephanie turns to Maya with tears threatening again. Maya, I'm so sorry. I can't believe my own mother tried to sabotage our friendship. Steph, your mom loves you. She just has a twisted way of showing it. But that doesn't excuse what she did. How can you be so understanding after what she put you through? Because you're worth it. Our friendship is worth it. And I'm not going to let her manipulation poison what we have. Stephanie hugs Maya tightly, both of them emotional but careful not to mess up their wedding day appearance. Emma checks her phone. Ladies, I hate to interrupt this moment, but we really do need to get to photos if we want to stay on schedule. As they walk toward the photo location, Stephanie links arms with Maya. Promise me something. Promise me you'll never let anyone treat you like hired help again. Maya smiles. I promise. But you have to promise me something too. What? Promise me you'll trust our friendship enough to come to me if anyone tries to manipulate either of us again. I promise. The ceremony itself is beautiful. Maya stands beside Stephanie at the altar, exactly where she belongs, watching her best friend marry the man who fought for Maya's rightful place in their lives. David's vows include a line about chosen family being as important as blood family. And he makes eye contact with Maya when he says it. During the reception, Linda maintains polite distance, clearly understanding that her manipulation has been exposed and her authority undermined. She makes no further attempts to assign Maya coordinator duties. At the end of the evening, as Maya helps Stephanie change out of her wedding dress, they talk about the future of Maya. I want you to know that what happened today has opened my eyes to a lot of things about my mother's behavior over the years. Steph, I don't want to come between you and your family. You're not coming between us. You're helping me see clearly. And that's what best friends do. As Maya drives home, still in her bridesmaid dress but finally feeling like she participated in the wedding she helped create, she reflects on the day's lessons. Manipulation thrives when victims are isolated and convinced their mistreatment is their fault. But truth has power, and genuine relationships can survive even sophisticated attempts to destroy them. Her phone buzzes with a text from David. Thank you for not giving up on today. Stephanie's happiness means everything to me, and you're essential to that happiness. Maya smiles, knowing that despite Linda Chen's best efforts, she'll remain exactly what she's always been, Stephanie's chosen sister, David's friend. And someone who learned to recognize manipulation and fight back against it. The wedding day that started with betrayal ended with truth, proving that authentic relationships are stronger than the people who try to tear them apart. Looking for more? We've got 2 amazing stories ready for you right on screen. If this one touched you, these are absolutely worth your time. Click to watch them now. And hey, subscribe and hit that bell to never miss our latest uploads.